Hi everybody, and thank you for joining me for this video where I'm going to show you how I created this painting of a teapot and some lemons. The video is approximately 40 minutes long, and it will be followed by a second video. In the first video I'm going to cover how I create the form of the teapot and the three-dimensionality of it. In the second video I go on to talk about the details and refining the painting. If you'd like to see both full videos, then you need to subscribe to my Patreon page, and there is a link below. Otherwise you just get this shorter version. I hope you enjoy it, I hope you find it useful, and let's get painting. This area of shadow that's cast across the spout is really important in defining the shape of the spout. So I'm taking my time with this bit. You can see I've blocked in those other values, and I'll continue to do that in a minute. I've blocked in quite roughly, and then I'll get a soft brush and blend them all together. Although I'm referring to the still life, I do stop every now and then and look up at the still life. A lot of this constructing the form of this teapot, particularly the body of the teapot, is based on my knowledge of how light falls across a sphere. It's difficult to actually pick out the different values because there's so much decoration on the teapot itself. But I do know that if I can get the form of the teapot, the underlying form, correct, then it'll be convincing once I add the detail afterwards. Just increasing the chroma of that colour that I've put on. I think it was too low a chroma. You generally find that the highlight, the lightest area of the sphere, in this case the body of the teapot, the chroma, the intensity of the colour isn't as strong, believe it or not. The value is very high, but the chroma is lower. The highest area of chroma tends to be just before the half tone. So I'm just starting to define that edge a little bit more on the left hand side. In actual fact, I pushed it out too far there, and I have to come back later on and correct that. But again, it's important, similar to the spout actually, it has to be very, very clean line along that edge. So I'm using the stick again there just to support my hand while I'm doing these edges. You can get more than one. If you make a mistake, it's not the end of the world. You can cut back into it again using the colour of the background, but it's the hassle of having to mix the colour accurately again. So if you can get these edges done correctly in the first attempt, it just saves you a lot of time later. The left hand edge that I did a couple of minutes back, I have to go back in later on and correct that, and I have to get the right colour, and it just adds to the time taken on the painting. And just softening them two values together now. And what I don't want is I don't want a sharp division between the dark value and the light value, because that will suggest that there's a sharp edge on the spout, and obviously the spout is a cylinder, so the transition has to be really gradual. And to blend them together, I'm going to have to use quite a small blending brush. So that bit that I've just flicked on there, that is the reflection of the spout on the body of the teapot. That's why that value is slightly higher than the value just to the left of it. And lower down, this bit that I'm doing now, this is the reflection of the lemon, the sliced lemon. So I'm just adjusting that colour slightly. It might be too high a value, so I've lowered it slightly. I don't want it to jump out, but I want it to make it obvious. So there we are, I've lowered the value of it a little bit, and that's going to be blended in as well, but it just suggests that reflection of the lemon. The handle of the teapot is partly in shadow, but obviously the value of it is slightly lighter than the cloth behind. So I'm using the halftone value that I mixed up earlier for the body of the teapot. It's one of those moments where I need to steady my hand again. If you were to paint this and have any wobbles or irregularities in it, it immediately destroys the illusion of reality. So the curve has to be absolutely spot on. And I'm holding, I don't know if you notice, I'm holding the brush quite a long way back, not nowhere near the tip. The reason for that is, if you hold the paintbrush like a pencil and you try to create a straight line, have a go at this actually, your hand has to rotate through quite a big arc, and there's more chance because of that movement that it'll wobble. If you hold the paintbrush further back, you can rotate your wrist and the tip of the brush covers a bigger area, so it's less likely to have bumps and lumps in it. just blending in the last little bit, and then really I'm at the stage when I can start thinking about moving on to adding detail. The painting has quite a strong form now. The three-dimensionality of the teapot and the lemons is convincing, relatively convincing anyway. I will continue to tweak those as I go on, but I'm starting to think more now about adding detail. So I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope you found it useful. And the final part of the painting will be in a video coming up shortly.